This is my 1949 Studebaker 2R5 half-ton pickup truck that me and my sister are in the process of trying to restore. Today we're actually going to pull the motor and transmission. I just wanted to talk through a few things that we did to prepare the motor and tranny for removal. As we move closer to the engine and we look down into here, this is where I disconnected the shifting linkage and the clutch linkage from the transmission and separated them. And then and also underneath here is a transmission mount with 2 bolts that I had to remove. And then as you come out, this is the power cable that was connected here to a bus bar that goes over to the starter. What you see right here is the accelerator linkage for your foot feet, and we've just disconnected that, and so it comes out and you can see what it looks like, and there's a little cotter pin that holds that in place, but we've got that disconnected. In addition, we have in here the temperature sending unit that needed to be removed from the block, so we took the temperature sending unit out of there. And then also, as we look up toward the dash, the gauge cluster, we have the choke cable that we're going to remove from the carburetor, the oil pressure line, and we just talked about the temperature sending unit. This is where the speedometer cable hooked into. I've already disconnected the speedometer cable, and it's laying on the motor. We move to the front of the motor. As you'll see, the generator here, there are 3 wires connected to the generator. I had to disconnect those for removing. And then down here is actually the front motor mount on the driver's side. It was a bolt nut combination is used to secure this to the vehicle. Moving over to the other side, this is the vacuum line that goes to the windshield washer motor here. Got to remove that. This is that oil pressure line where we had it connected, and it's now disconnected. What you see right here, this is the cable that engages the water flow for the heater core. You have to disconnect it like that. And then also for the choke, we've already loosened it all up, and so this is what you do for the choke there. This is the front motor mount on the passenger side that we were talking about, and you can also see where we disconnected the fuel line from the fuel pump. And with that, there were no grounding straps or anything else in the engine, so I think right at this time we're pretty much ready to go ahead and try to pull this puppy out. We're able to get the motor out of the truck, and we've got her set here, so we're going to start cleaning on her. But I just want to take a moment to talk about a few things and share our experiences with removing the motor. I used this 5/16 chain and connected it to the front and back of the head on the motor, and I had this clevis, a 2,000-pound clevis that I used, and initially I hooked the clevis back here thinking it would help keep the engine level and transmission level as we brought it out of the truck. But what I did discover was that I actually needed the engine to rise in the front and the transmission to drop in the back, because my oil pan there was a cross member just in front of it, and I couldn't get it up over that cross member, so I ended up setting the motor back down, and I moved my clevis more toward the front, just front of the center of the motor. And once I did that, the weight of the transmission pushed down, just pulled the motor up, and we're able to jack her up, and the oil pan cleared the cross member. And once it cleared the cross member, we're actually able to just push the pickup out from under the motor, and then we brought it over here and set it down on our makeshift engine stands here. This is the crane that we used to do that with, and the thing with the crane is that the great crane has worked well for me, but the crane at the lower part, these legs, were actually higher than the front axle on the vehicle, and so what we ended up doing was using these cement blocks here on both sides. We set the vehicle on top of that, which raised it enough to get these legs underneath the axle. This is that cross member that I was talking about that the oil pan needed to clear. And by moving that chain forward, the transmission dropped down, the motor picked up, and we're able to just lift it up over that cross member, and then we just push the vehicle back out from there. Hopefully this will help y'all out there if somebody needs it. Thank y'all very much.